Hello, that's 51st Parallel. I'm Samuel. Today I have a chance to talk to some Scorpio Project members. In this episode, we will discuss what this project is about, what they do, what problems and challenges they encounter, and of course, what has been achieved so far. I hope the recording inspires more active people to join this amazing team in their commendable undertaking. Let's begin. Hello,
Hi,
Michael,
hi.
and hello, Sophie.
Hi.
How are you doing, first of all?
We are doing great. It's actually middle of the week, so we are not having too much work yet, and we
Yeah.
can focus on the project.
Yeah, and after a long day, we have some stuff to do, but it's okay.
Let's just get directly to the project. What is Scorpio? How would you describe it?
It's a project that combines many people and a lot of knowledge because it's not only mechanics, electronics, it's also science, it's also geology and marketing. So we are doing everything from the top to the bottom of the list from all the universities in Wrocław. And I think that's inspiring seeing other people with knowledge in the fields we have no idea about, and we are learning from them, and they show us their passion, and that's what's most exciting about the project.
Okay, very nice. Do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, it's also the student association as on the Wrocław University of Science and Technology, and we are really interdisciplinary, like because of the competitions that we participate.
Okay, based on your answer, Sophie, I would like to ask you, do you work with some other, let's say, teams or with some partners?
We work with many partners. They're our sponsors, so we need we need new equipment because the Martian rover doesn't build itself. We need partners all the time. However, there are mostly companies that want to help us. We work with a lot of students, but they're not different associations.
Okay, I see. You've mentioned the this Martian rover, right? So can you explain to me, what is it exactly, and what is the purpose, let's say, of this robot, and where do you train, and what do you do to build this robot?
Yeah, so our Martian rover is mainly focused on the participating in international competitions throughout the world. We were in Australia, we were in US, we were in Turkey, and the main topic is to drive the rover and participate in different challenges. And the challenges are focused on the real tasks that the real Martian rover are doing right now or will be doing in future. For example, our rover has to go through difficult terrain, so it has to have suspension that will gonna withstand the environment. Also, in the second challenge, we had a manipulator arm. Our rover is equipped with that, and the challenge is checking the dexterity of our arm. And the third challenge, we have to autonomously drive our rover. We only put GPS coordinates in our app and just let it go, and the rover has to find the way by itself.
Sounds amazing. Can you share some more details on this robot? Like, what else does it have? Or how many wheels it has? Like, what does it look like? Or you've mentioned that it has this robotic arm, right?
Yeah, the arm is similar to the human hand, human arm, human hands. It's focused on the doing that's really stuff that requires dexterity, picking something, changing the switches, even typing on keyboard. We have to do it. Also, our rover is equipped with 5 cameras. It's required because we operate on the rover during the competition, but we don't see the rover by our eyes. We only see the rover from a camera that we installed on them. So we had one camera that is for the panoramic view. It's CCTV camera that we installed, but it has a rotational move of 360 degrees, so we can look around, don't moving the rover. Also, we had a drive camera for the driver. It's between the wheels, and it helps driver to drive through the difficult terrain because it's real low, so the driver see every obstacle in front. Also, we had two stereo cameras. One is for the autonomy. The stereo camera is like a human eye sensor. It's perceived the three dimensions. That's why our rover it's possible for him to navigate through to difficult terrain and map the terrain in 3D. Also, the other stereo camera is in our arm. The stereo camera is for measuring the distance for the operator. He knows how many centimeters the peak of our arm is from the nearest obstacle, and the last camera is focused on looking at our fingertips, because if we want to do something precise, we have to see what we are picking right now.
Okay, makes sense. I would also like to ask you, Sophie, your colleague, Michael, mentioned some, let's say, difficulties which are due to this difficult terrain, right? So where do you usually train? Because okay, what sort of terrain are you talking about?
It's actually terrain based on the Mars terrain, because one of the competitions is in Utah, where actual fake, let's say, missions happen. So there are artificial missions where people are locked in, let's say, Martian base, and at the same desert, in the same place, we train with our rovers. So this is where the competition happens. If we mean training in here in Wrocław, we have our own operating equipment. So we build some of the terrain and we are training on it, because let's face it, we don't have that many rocks or deserts around. So we train on whatever we have. But we know our suspension very well. We have also a simulation of our rover, and we use dependent suspension with 4 wheels. So it's very, very good on that kind of terrain.
Okay, awesome. How big is this, let's say, training equipment that you built? Is it like a room, or let's say a stadium, or maybe it's just, some single rocks or something like that?
No, those are actually, we have 2 systems. One is actually built by another association right now. So it will be used to train and also for some kind of events, festins, and so on. And the second ones are things that we built. So, for example, an operating panel. It's a big box with switches, with keyboards, with joysticks. So we use it to train what we would do on the competitions with our robotic arm. And also we have, for example, stairs, some kind of, let's just say, equipment that we put on the ground to find it, to drive through it, around it. It's really about feeling the rover move. So it's not that important for us to have exactly same terrain as to feel the rover and know its limits.
Interesting. Okay, you've been mentioning the competitions that you've participated in. Michael, can you tell me more about some of the competitions that you've been to?
Yeah, sure. First competition that we took part this year was in Australia in March. The competition was not based exactly on the Mars-like terrain. It was Moon. Moon was the main target for our robots, so it was really sandy terrain. It was the competition was held in the yard of University of Adelaide, and there we participate and actually got second place.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and speaking of Australia, that's an interesting country that is also a continent, right? How did you like this competition, and how did you like Australia? Let's begin with you, Sophie.
Yeah, it was amazing, because we are actually the first Polish association to ever go to Australia, in case of student associations, of course. So we're the first. We won second place, so that was amazing. Also for adult models in the categories. But we had sometimes to go sightseeing because we didn't sleep. We were packing the rover in the night, and during the day we were going sightseeing. So we had opportunity to pet a kangaroo or koala, even quokka. So it's something that not many people had. Also the people, because people in Australia are really amazing. They were so welcoming. And when we had some manipulative failure, they were all ready to help, texting us if we need anything. So I think the biggest thing in Australia are people. because they're very amazing.
That's very impressive. And Michael, can you tell me more about, let's say, Utah? Because Utah is also a beautiful state. I mean, a lot of deserts and also some mountains. And yeah, it sounds like a perfect place for these competitions, right?
Yeah, it's perfect place. Actually, it's the most Martian-like terrain on Earth. That's why the main competition is held there. It's really different phase of United States. It's like a lot of people are going to the big cities and sightseeing New York, but the Utah is really empty. We had to live in the small village called Green River, and every day we had to drive 60 miles, 100 kilometers to the competition where it's held, and we were driving for an hour with only views: desert on the left, desert on the right, and you're just driving a straight road to the competition. So it was amazing, and I never experienced it anywhere on the world.
Wow, unbelievable. Did you want to add something, Sophie?
Yeah, the only thing other than the desert, there was some occasional car going
Oh.
by, but that was all. There wasn't anything in the 100-kilometer radius, so something that we don't really see in Europe.
Okay, was it very different? I mean, of course it was very different, like climate-wise, but like, what was your first impression of this state?
My first impression was it's a lot of empty spaces, and I never experienced so much terrain without anyone in nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same for me because we're driving from the airport and we already landed, so we're so close. No, we were like 6-hour drive from the hotel.
Yeah.
And actually the GPS showed you have to drive straight and in 530 kilometers turn left. You were like, okay, yeah. So now we are driving straight for 500 kilometers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable because, for example, I come from Belarus, and Belarus is, I mean, it's not a huge country. I mean, probably Utah is even larger than the whole Belarus.
We checked the Utah state is the same size of the Poland, so
so it's larger than Belarus. Yeah, definitely. Well, just hard to imagine. And there are 50 states. Of course, not all of them are that big, but still, that's very interesting. So, how did you fare there in Utah in this competition? Like, did you bring something back?
we actually in Utah we had a 14th place out of more than 100
Wow, that's
participants.
that's still impressive.
Yeah, it's like for me, Utah, the competition held in Utah, University Rover Challenge, is like the Dakar race for the rovers. It's like the most ambitious and the hardest competition throughout the year. We learn a lot. We get lessons about the rover, about what we can change and how to improve our design. Also, last year in this competition, we actually got the third place in a science task. So we had some virtues there, but we look for more and hope in the next year to go there and do better.
Yeah, of course, it's useful to aim high, but still, I mean, that's really impressive. And also, probably the trip to the United States is sort of, that's just a good prize, I guess,
Yes,
right?
yes. It's for us. It's like the one of the great rewards for the hard work to prepare yourself for every competition. Actually, when you want to participate, the strict final is held in Utah, for example, and only 37 teams are allowed to go there, because you have to first go through 2 stages of the competition when you write the technical documents, and it's hard work. You have to prepare your rover, you have to prepare these documents, and when you get this opportunity to go there, and it's rewarding for your job.
I'm very happy that it paid off. So yeah, and also probably one more question concerning the competitions would be, what have these contests taught you? Like, can you share some, let's say, valuable lessons, or maybe it showed you something that you had not seen, let's say, before?
I think one of the things that we learn is how to predict unpredictable, because we can predict anything and there is always something that we didn't predict, something that we didn't bring. So we learn a lot, and also we learn true value of brainstorm, because for example, this time we went to the US and we had something called Raman spectrometer, and it broke during the transport, so it was decalibrated, and we had to sit together and think through what we can do to fix it. So we're driving through the village to find some lamps that we actually knew how they're.
It's a spectral wavelength. It's because of the Raman spectrometer. We had to calibrate it with a monochromatic light, and where you gonna find lasers in the middle of the desert?
Wow, makes sense. But still, you see, that was a challenge, but you did it.
Yeah, we did it. Also, actually, in the States last year, on the first day of our competition, our rover done a flip, front flip, and we didn't want that. So it broke on the first day of competition. There's usually 3 days of competition, so we were devastated. But this evening, this day, I learned how to improvise, how to repair stuff quickly, and how to do the teamwork. Next morning, after a long night, we had working rover. We showed up, and the judges was like, "This rover was broke yesterday." Yes, it was, and now it's working.
Wow, I don't have any words here to describe the situation. I mean, that's impressive. That's really great.
Yeah, you learn how to improvise, because in there you can't bring everything, because you can just pack up all your workshop and bring it with you. So you have to learn how to use different tools in many ways, how to improvise, and how to think outside the box, because studies, your university years won't teach you that. Only when you have to apply it, then you are really learning how to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, experience is better than any theoretical knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, it's also like about the practical stuff. When you are on, for example, some laboratories or some exercises, you have some problems that are written down and checked the result, and like it's prepared for you. But when you are on a competition like this with the rover and you encounter the problem, it's new. It's something that no one checked. No one is to say you are on the right track. You have to figure out by yourself. Or by yourself, I mean by the team, because everyone is working on the problem. When there is one problem from one expertise, everyone tries to help as they can.
There is an interesting aspect you've mentioned that true, like during our classes, we are taught that, okay, yeah, you need to, for example, solve this problem, but it's not a problem anymore, right? Like someone has already solved it. So yeah, that's a little bit maybe upsetting, but still, I mean, that's great that we have such scientific clubs and projects here at our university. And can we talk about Turkey? Because you've also mentioned that while, like naming some competitions.
Yeah, we actually went to Turkey for the second time, because last year was their first time organizing the competition. And I think it's the best competition we had so far, because we not only defended our title from last year, because we won first competition, we defended the title, but also won 7 other awards. So we took 8 medals and 7 of them were gold. So we went back home very, very
Satisfied.
happy.
Yeah, I mean, satisfied is probably, too weak of a word, right?
Yeah.
Like 8 medals and seven of them are golden. Wow, that's really good. I mean, just bravo. That's what I can say here.
Thanks. I think it's also interesting because there were 2 people at the competition that were new to the association. They were at our team, I think 2 or 3 months at the time, and they did great because they just wanted to do it. And if we see potential in someone, that when we are giving up our place to give them the opportunity, so it's very, very good to be close to the team.
Yeah, sure. And this is the best example that if you are new member, It doesn't mean that you're not gonna go for the competition to other country in, I don't know, in a year or something. If you are engaged and if you want to do and do a lot for the association, then you go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a great encouragement for such people who just joined. Okay, let's move to your studies because we started talking about that. And what do you study, Michael?
I'm studying actually chemistry and material engineering at the Faculty of Chemistry.
Okay. What about you, Sophie?
Yeah, I'm doing a double major, one in algorithmic computer science, and second one in business engineering.
Okay, that's actually very interesting because like what brought you and of course like this question is to Michael, what brought you to this project? Because you know you're studying it's a completely different field, right?
Yeah, actually, the story was like I was in high school in the robotics club, and I was doing some robot-like stuff and practical. I was never the mechanical type guy. I loved chemistry, and that's why I go to the studies. But I want to do something in the workshop. I like wanted to do it. And after first year, that was the COVID pandemic, I was actually not here but in home. After I got there in the second year, I thought, okay, there are studies, I'm doing something, but I want to go back to this high school experience and do something in workshop. And I'm starting to looking for the different associations on the university. And on the chemistry, actually, there was a lot of theoretical one. So I decided, okay, I don't want to do a theory. I wanted to do something real job in the workshop. And I got to the Faculty of Mechanics, and I saw, okay, there is a rover team. I love the rovers because from the childhood I was interested in space exploration. So I thought, okay, I give it a shot. I'm not from the mechanical department, but maybe there is something for me to do. And I actually saw there's inside the association there is like the science department. It's responsible for making experiments that are held on the rover during the competition. So okay, this is the niche. I wanted to go there, and I got to the association. And in my opinion, I started the best journey in my life.
Interesting that so many people just get into this field, and you know, you don't have to be necessarily like mechanic or yeah.
Yeah, it's because the competitions required to do experiments, science experiments aboard the rover, driving autonomously, uh, design and produce the rover, the suspension, the arm. We are really interdisciplinary and actually have students from 11 faculties.
Oh, okay. So almost all the faculties.
All the faculties from
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
university
Yeah,
because
sure.
And
of the
also
complexity.
three different universities, because it's not always only students from our university, it's also from economic university and from Wrocław University. So we are combining people from all the backgrounds.
Okay, I didn't know about that. That's very nice. Okay, and how do you apply your studies, let's say, in this project?
I actually needed something different to do because I was just studying at the time the algorithmic computer science, and because it's so difficult, like math-wise, and because there are so many classes, so many projects, I thought that I need something different because sitting at my computer nearly 20 hours a day was killing me, and I needed something to do with my hands. I also always like to do something. So I found this association because they were actually recruiting to finance and marketing. I thought about the software at first, but I was like, no, I'm already doing too much at the computer. I need something new to do. And I was actually at my high school paper. I was like the head manager of the paper. So I was like, yeah, I know how it's done. So maybe they will take me. It's, like Michael, it was the best decision of my studies.
Speaking of your project, like, do you recruit people? Do you recruit new members?
Yeah, actually, right now we are in the middle of recruitment because every half a year, every semester, we are doing a recruitment for, let's say, 3 weeks because we have to transfer the knowledge to new people. We are ending our studies, new people come by, and we don't want to get all that knowledge lost. So we are very careful about sustaining all the knowledge, all the experience we have to get as many people as we can from all the departments, from all the years, because it's what makes the association worthwhile for the uni, because we are actually giving the new knowledge to the new people.
Of course, it's very important to pass this knowledge to the next generations. Michael, so how can someone get to this project?
Okay, so right now, as Sophie said, we are middle of the recruitment process, and every information is on our fan page on Facebook. You just type Project Scorpio, and you have this information. We posted a lot of information about it there. Also, if you want to find us, we have our website, also Project Scorpio. If you type in Google, then you can find the big button to join us, and you have to make the formula, the form, and just type your information and in what department you want and your experiences.
Okay, can you mention some departments you have?
Yeah, we have 5 departments. We have mechanical department, responsible for rover design, for suspension, for robotic arm. We have electronics, because it's not going to drive itself. We have software that's responsible for creation of our app, for autonomous driving, for connecting rover with us. We have science, as Michael said. It's people from all other departments. We have geologists, we have chemists, we have people from Department of Basic Fundamental Science Problems, and also we
Geologists.
yeah, and we have marketing, which is PR and finance combined in one department. So we like to see people from all around, because everyone has their own ideas.
Okay, sure. So basically, to all these listeners who are interested, all you need to do is to fill out the form, right? And to
Yeah.
apply. And of course, probably there is, like, the recruitment isn't that simple, let's say. Probably I was too fast with saying, like, all you need to do is just to fill out the form. Probably there are some other tasks that people need to do, right, before joining the
Yes,
project.
actually, for the mechanical, electronical, and software, we have the task to do. If you're gonna do the task, it's information for us how you're gonna approach the problem described in this task, and how you're gonna manage, how you're gonna do it with it. For example, in software, we use a little different type of language that is taught on the uni, but we also give the links to the tutorials for the beginners, and if you're gonna watch the tutorials and focus a little, you're gonna manage to do it.
Yeah, for us, it's not about how well you do the task, it's about how you approach it, because we can teach you how to write in ROS, because robot operating system is like the framework for Python that we use. It's our most used software. We can teach you the ROS. We can teach you how to do SolidWorks. We can teach you how to do 3D print parts, but we cannot teach you how to approach the problem, how to apply your knowledge. So we want to see how well you can apply your own knowledge, how well can you imagine something, and not how well you can solve it, because that's 2 different things.
And also, we want to see how much do you really want to do it. We don't want to apply a person that is not interested and doesn't want to cooperate to work, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work in our association, I'm not gonna lie, but it's worth it. It's worth it, definitely.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, engagement is very important.
Yes.
Okay, what would be your advice for all of these students who are currently, like, studying at Wrocław University of Science and Technology, and they're wondering, like, where they should go, and probably not necessarily, your project or something like that? What would be your advice to all of these people?
I would say apply yourself, because you can sit at the books at any time, but you only study once. So if you are working, I know that some people need to work to survive, to support themselves. But if you are just studying, you don't do anything else. You are studying, partying, do something more, because you study only one time, you are young only one time. And in our association, for example, if you are applying yourself, there are people who went with us to Turkey after after 2 months in our associations, because they were so good, because they were applying themselves, and
They're
we saw the
engaging.
potential. Yeah, they were engaged in the project. But if you are just sitting with your books, if you are just going to party, then do something more, because it's a waste of your years at the uni.
And also, don't be afraid. It's like the first thing I heard a lot of from the people that are afraid to apply because they think they are not enough for the association. In fact, a lot of people doesn't realize how little actually knowledge and experiences with something is required, more the engagement. You can learn a lot in our association just if you are engaged. For example, I joined the association and I was given a task to build a Raman spectrometer. I really didn't know how to do an optics. I something know about the spectrometry, but not much. And I'm started to learning. I'm starting to constructing to meet new people in this topic. I actually met my mentor to do the bachelor's degree work with from the association, and I learned SolidWorks that I will not learn on the faculty of chemistry, because it's the main topic of faculty of mechanics, and you can get a lot of knowledge just be engaged.
Yeah, so I think to sum it up, don't be afraid and just do it, because what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yep.
True. Cannot agree more. Well, it was Sophie, the team leader of Scorpio Project, and Michael, vice team leader of the same project. Thank you very much for joining, and it has been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure.
Okay, let's say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye.
And goodbye.
Bye.
This podcast was recorded at Radio Luz LUZ on campus of Wrocław University of Science and Technology. You can find more episodes on our YouTube channel, as well as on various other platforms connected to Radio Luz. You can write to us to 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com, which is 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and see you next time.